Well, hello you gorgeous mother truckers, you. Welcome to another video. Right then, you're going to notice a couple of older videos popping up over the next few days. I recorded 3, I think it was, and I can make sure that they're up and available for you to watch. They're not really time-based, so we should be okay. Although, obviously, you'll notice that the studio's changed now since they were recorded. Any case, Keir Starmer, yes, that's wonderful, joyous leader of our country who has imbued such beautifulness upon us and made us all really rich and living a comfortable life. Well, I mean, that's in his mind and the Labour Party's mind. That's what they genuinely think they're doing and have done. I know, but that's what they think. They seem to struggle with the fact that in reality things aren't the way they are. Now, apparently, old Keir is trying to reboot his leadership because they are maybe just realising that actually things aren't as good as they were. But we all know, and I think even Keir Starmer knows, that he's a dead man walking. His tenure as the leader of the Labour Party and our Prime Minister, it's on its final walk. Now, the first clue is when you start getting some MPs openly discussing the possibility of him going. When you have MPs discussing or openly saying that he's doing things wrong. The very first real clue that there was a crack in it all was when Jeremy Corbyn and Zara the racist Zoltan split away and created their own new party. That was the first clue. Although in reality, when we all look at it objectively, there were always those cracks. You see, when the Conservatives were in government, we focused, and of course the focus was on all their party divisions, and Labour pretty much got a free rein. They pretty much got away with serious scrutiny, shall we say. But the cracks have always been there, even more than they are in the Conservative Party. Now, these divisions are beginning to grow, and I think it's because a lot of, especially Labour backbenchers, in fact many, if not all Labour MPs, apart from maybe the front bench, and even they're a little bit dodgy, they know that come the next election, whenever that may be, they're gone, their history, their toast, it's over, because there isn't any chance of them getting in. And without sort of blowing smoke up their asses or anything like that, they can't admit anything else other than the fact that it's their own fault. So they're now beginning to slowly but steadily openly talk about getting rid of Keir Starmer, or openly criticising and questioning decisions made by the leadership. And these voices will only get louder. Now, the biggest, apart from the fact that Keir Starmer is without doubt the most out of touch idiot known to man, and the things that he has said and the things that he talks about are just clear insanity. The flag post where he talks about not allowing our flag, I mean, I don't know where this we comes from, but our flag to be seized for violence. Well, the national flag always has been associated with the good and the bad. That particular tweet was just so out of touch. And as I keep mentioning now, the big thing in the world at the moment is optics, how it looks. More than anything, it's how it looks. And that tweet made him look sad, desperate, and out of touch. And I'm being kind there. But the new thing, of course, is the Peter Mandelson thing. Now, he's come out and said, well, if everybody else had told me what an arsehole he was, I wouldn't have hired him. Yeah, pull the other one, Keir, it plays Jingle Bells. Because everyone from every political side of the thing was saying giving him that job was a really, really bad mistake, and he shouldn't have done it. And he really shouldn't have. Now, he's trying to pretend that he knew nothing. I knew nothing. I mean, this wearing thin with me, and I would imagine with many of you, with Keir Starmer's attitude. It's the I didn't know, or people didn't tell me. With Keir Starmer, it's always somebody else's fault. Well, with all of the Labour Party, it's always somebody else's fault. The economy is in the because it's the Conservatives. No, you can use that line for the first 3 months of the position, maybe 4 at a stretch. But when you're over a year into it, everything that's happening to the country is because of your choices and your decisions. This is just, it shows you what evil, narcissistic arseholes they are. Now, the thing is, people on the backbenches are beginning to realise that when they start to challenge things, when they start to say things, when they start to raise concerns, people in their constituency actually go, oh, well, thanks for that. Because people just, above all else, want a member of parliament, their member of parliament, to sit in the house and look after their interests. Now, of course, we have the Muslim section of Labour, whose only real concern is Islam and anything but this country. They've made that perfectly obvious when they've been voting against extending Heathrow's runway, but then demanding that we pay for a new runway in an airport in Pakistan because it helps their constituents. Yeah, okay, whatever. And when we have a Home Secretary, who I'm going to do another video on, because over the last couple of days, especially yesterday on Monday, I'm recording this obviously Tuesday the 16th, shows her agenda and shows who she actually and genuinely really cares about. And that putting her in that position was the worst thing Keir Starmer could have done. Unless, of course, he did it just to troll us. Because it feels like that, doesn't it? But the Peter Mandelson thing, to try and pretend that, I know nothing about it. Everybody told him. Everybody was telling him, even when he started discussing it, everybody went, well, that's a bad idea, because, he knew. He knew 100%. He knew exactly what was happening. But he'd been told, probably by his Fabian Society buddies, to give him another chance. And it's bit him in the ass. And you're now hearing, you see, the clues are already there. And if you've paid attention to politics for a while now, it's a bit like football. As in, you all know when things aren't going right at your club and when the ownership is getting fed up of a crappy manager, when they start saying things like, oh, well, he has our full backing. The manager's doing, and as soon as you start hearing, he has our support and full backing, they're on dodgy ground. The same's happening in number 10. When you're hearing that people are being dragged in for a meeting late at night that goes on to the early hours of the morning, when you hear about rumblings in number 10, where Keir Starmer's screaming and shouting at people because they're supposed to protect him, even though I'm sure you were supposed to protect yourself if you were a savvy politician. And then you hear things like the unions coming out and saying, well, if he doesn't course correct come May, he'll be gone, because they all know there's another set of local elections coming in May. My area, my constituency where I live right now is one of those people who will be voting in those May elections. And the projections are not good for Labour at the slightest. The optics are for a total disaster. Now, you always find it's amazing that when people aren't in power, like the Labour weren't for 14 years, they had huge reply. Wow, look, you see, they're all voting against you. The government's going to fail. But when it happens, when you're in power, it's just a blip. Yeah. They're going to be absolutely destroyed, devastated in this upcoming election in May. But Keir's finished. Now you start hearing people talking openly, criticising openly. When you hear the unions going, wow, you could be gone by May, mate, if you don't sort your shit out. The massively out of touch comments on things that he clearly doesn't understand. But I think the Mandelson thing is going to be what everybody warned him it would be, which is why if he keeps trying to pretend, I didn't know. Everybody was warning him. Everybody was telling him he is a bad idea. This will come and bite you in the ass, and it has. This could be, if not the thing that finishes him off, a mortal blow from which he will never recover. Not that we should celebrate, because of course, you know, for another instance, I mean, Andy Burnham apparently is coming in so he can challenge the leadership. All these things all add up, don't they? They all add up to the fact that he's a dead man walking. It's going to be over for him because of his own ineptitude. I mean, as I've always said, it's like a car crash, except unfortunately we're in the back seat with him while he's crashing the vehicle. It's going to be an interesting. I think this week's going to be interesting. I genuinely do. I think things are going to move apace now because he's on his back foot, and you can see all the language is indicating that people are finished with him. And it's just a matter of not if, but when. But remember, don't celebrate, because just because he's gone doesn't mean anything's going to change. It could get worse. I mean, it's not hard to get better, but it could get worse, a lot worse. Any case, enough of that. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you enjoy what I do and like what I do. It'd be much appreciated. Ways to support the channel down below. And I will catch you in the next one.
You said to me that you can't stand the world you're living in.